with us is Prince Ikpe Ekong, an ex-international and one of the first set of Nigerians to play in the Serie A Regina. We know you as a sport agent working for Mind Primacy Sport Management. We know that you have under your belt quality players who are Italians, Swedish, and Africans. We're also aware of your son playing in the Empoli on the 19 first team. Those are lofty achievements. It's quite an unbelievable achievement. And having you here with us in the Apfan League, what is your mission, sir?
Yes, actually, with the Apfan League is basically grassroots, and to be able to encourage the grassroots and to categorically scout the grassroots players. And Wale Kuku has been, I will use him as a reference, has been a friend during my playing career days, even before I left the country during the 90s. I left, and one of those people who were fortunate to have left the country early in the 90s. He's very young, and even while he was still in school, he was involved in scouting. So he followed my career right from the days while I was living in Ajegule. He followed my career while I played the African Nations Cup, Ajegule Nations Cup, when I won the best player in that tournament. The likes of people like Emmanuel Amunike and the rest of them who will come back and play from abroad. You know, so I've been part of this grassroots. I've been a grassroots player who succeeded as a grassroots player and eventually left the country. Those days in the 90s, you don't leave unless you play in the national team. So I was one of those players that I've scouted directly from Nigeria straight to Europe. So when I look at the history back, I want to bring back I will use the word that sense of victory that happened to my life in that period, which normally is not very usual. So I want to bring back that and also make it a better platform and give it to the grassroots. And that's what we're doing basically. And so many players, I mean, I've been doing this even before going officially as an there are several people that have left the country, and today some of them are no longer playing, but they are European citizens today. They have families and they've started their careers, and they have a wonderful life.
You have been here since morning with us since the beginning of the match today, since 10 a.m. I can say. But have you seen players in the 3 games played so far today?
Yes, I've seen quite a number of players, and I'm still expecting to see more and to be able to make conclusions. You know, so for me as a scout, we not only looking at the quality of the player, but also see their weaknesses as well too. Their weaknesses is one of those things that we point out very well, and most times people that are doing scouting, they focus on the strength of the player, but the weakness is quite very interesting part that you need to see actually, and that you need to actually identify, so you can be able to work on the player and see how you can get the player better.
So, well, thank you, Mr. Ikpe. So far, what do you think of the standard of the league and also the teams that have played and standard of football that you've seen so far?
So far, I'm impressed with the organization, but I think it will also be better. It's going to be better because this is like, you know, when something is kicked off initially, there are a lot of pros and cons, and also there are lots of experiences and mistakes, and you call them not mistakes necessarily, but things that you learn and that you get better on. In fact, with the standard in Nigeria, this is really good. This is really good, and the medial part is enormous. It's very lovely. I love the setting, and trust me, with the people that are involved and the people that I see, their experiences, I think this will be better. And that's why someone like me wants to, I would like to partner with this. I would like to be part of this so that this we can take it to another level and bring, you know, combine experiences and knowledge and to take it to the next level.
Thank you so much for that commendation. You're making our heads swell here, you know. And we know one thing is that with you on board, we can only get better. Can you tell us a little bit about primacy sports management?
Actually, primacy sport management is a management that was vetted by me actually for the essence of being prime, being the very initial, being number one, and is actually focusing on developing sport people, both male and female. And it's not only going to we're not targeting only football players. In fact, we are dealing with sport people. And it's not only their career, but also their financial investment, financial part of it, their mentoring, all aspects is going to be covering. And actually, primacy sport started with like I said, with my sons. I actually waited for them. I waited for Emmanuel to sign his first professional contract, and then primacy will kick off. It's something that has been, I as a father, I drove them back and forth to training, back and forth. My father spent his own time in my career while I was growing up, and those days while we were playing, it's not the days where you play football and parents will be happy. Those days parents wanted you to go to school. But my dad, I was very fortunate, my dad actually was fired because of coming to watch me play football. He was fired from Ikoyi Hotel. So he supported me, guided me, watched me play, and spent his money on us. People know him very well. So he has been a mentor in my career. So that same role that he played in my life, I also played it in my son's life from childhood when he was 6 years. The man kicked his first football when he was 6 years old. In fact, when he kicked his first football, I took him to the field to train him. He took the ball and went and scored his own post. And he was so fast, he was running, and everybody was just giving him away. He ran his car. Everybody was laughing in the stadium. And I said, you guys are laughing, but there's something I saw that I see as a talent in him. I see his pace and his speed. So, but I don't see his mistake, because the young boy, there will always be mistake. He will understand what he's doing tomorrow, but watch his space, and that's what we see today. So today, when he signed his first professional contract at 16, primacy kicked off officially. What has been betted long, but kicked off officially. And then his younger brother also too is with the under 19. Not just that, also with 13 years, 12 years old with our twins. They are with one of the best academy. They are scouted and they are sponsorship twins. So we are really focusing on young players, and we want to develop them seriously. And we partner with great team, like partner with Marcello Lippi, Coach Marcello Lippi and his family, Reset Group. We run with Chiellini, the Italian captain, Napolitano, Ribery, and the likes of them. They are all sitting down. When we go to, I have an office in Milan. When they sit down in Milan, they are people that we actually run their careers for.
We have two more questions. Firstly, Reset Group, and the primacy sports management. We understand that it's a strong relationship. It's like your sisters and brothers. So what's that partnership about, and how can Nigeria and Africa benefit, and even Apfan, since we're trying to make the Apfan the scouting ground of Africa, how can that, what's the partnership about, and how can that benefit?
I think where the benefit comes in is the partnership, where I'm covering my space. You see, when agency comes like this together, where you have lots of experiences, people cover their spaces, they cover their areas. My area that I'm covering the whole Africa and Scandinavia.
Fantastic.
So I'm covering the whole Africa and Scandinavia when it comes to resets, when it comes to partnering with them, Reset Group. So they are covering Europe and they cover Asia, they cover other parts, but I'm specifically, categorically covering Africa and Scandinavia, in comprised of Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Estonia, and the rest of them.
Fantastic. So, before we leave, it's always good to give advice to the people who are here for today. You have your first son in Empoli, first team Serie A. He was promoted to the first team last season.
Yes.
And of course, he made the bench a lot until he got an injury. Yeah. Then this season, he's now been, we saw him playing a lot of the preseason games. It's like, I mean, they've had a lot of teams even want to take him on loan in Serie A, and his Empoli has said, no, this is our gem, you're not going to go. Then you have your second son in Empoli under 19, also doing very well. He was even invited to the senior team last season to train with them. Then you have your two sons again, in your last two boys in the academy twins in academy in Sweden. I mean, they are no longer there's almost if they were a little older, they would have given them a professional contract by now. Yes. And also you have a lot of Swedish players under your management. You have a lot of European, Scandinavian players under your management. You're taking to different clubs, you're managing them. So you have a lot of experiences. I mean, clubs abroad invite you to make speeches to their players. What advice can you give to these young guys that are all watching this, your press conference right now? What can they do to get to be up there? How can you, I mean, your life story is also very inspirational. We know Churchill Olise, that's ABD, is one of the biggest agencies in Nigeria right now. In fact, in Africa right now. Yeah, he has over 400 players in his book. And you are the first person he ever moved out in the late 90s or early 2000s. In fact, late 90s. You are the first person he ever moved out of Nigeria. So you have so much experiences. I mean, you've seen Obago play in Regina, and I mean, promoted when you are the captain of the first team Regina. So you have so much experience and so much talk. Well, of course, you're going to meet some of our players tomorrow and talk to them. But what can you give our guys watching from around the world and around Nigeria? What advice can you give them if they want to be up there?
Yeah, two things I would say is both even the football administrative, because it's not just the players. We have people who are putting money now in football. Investors, like chairmen, like their club owners. These people are investing money, they are investing time. Some people have had family issues, some people have had relationships, some people, their businesses have crashed because of the passion that they had. They put so much into it, and time and opportunity is what matters. Time and opportunity. Every sport person, every football player, young player, listen to this. This is very important. If you want to play football, play football. And if you don't want to play football, just go ahead and do something else. You can't eat your cake and have it. So, and of course, I understand the situation of the country is very tough, which means there are lots of young players that will need to play football at the same time, do something on the side to support their living. I understand that very well. But also, football involves quite numbers of training that you do. Like young player, you people might not know this, but I might say this now. Every young player, every young growing player needs 2,466 minutes minimum for each season to be able to have a proper development. Match games. So don't get me right, not training. How many minutes did I say? 2,466 minutes match games. So which means every young player needs playing time. Playing time. So it's going to be very important for all the players to be involved in playing times, and also the administrative to be involved. It's not just sitting the player down and keep the player on the bench. Find a way where the players will have playing time. Because the player that you see that is good now, you might see another one rise up in next year to be better. So all young players need playing time, and the timing and the opportunity is very important. When you see people like us come back and do such a thing like this, and then opportunity want to be given to you, if you're a club owner, you're a player, cooperate immediately. Because the club owner says, no, we're not going to let him go because we need this, we need that, we need that. Look, such opportunity, you don't mess them out, because all you need is opportunity. You will have so many players playing in Africa today. Their skills, when we were playing, there are so many players that were good. But where are they today? Nowhere to be found. So the opportunities don't come anyhow. And when they come, take it and use the timing very well. Because those timing, those opportunities is what will make the team or the player become professionals.
Fantastic. So, one last thing before we go. I mean, if you look at me, I've known you for a long time. And you look at me, you know that I'm already, in my 40s. But what's your secret? You look 31. What has been the secret?
Well, for me, like we talked about it, for me, I'm a nutritionist. And apart from being a nutritionist, which means I study about, I also did a little bit of anatomy, which works about also the bones, the body. So part of it is the education that I got on the side, apart from football, and also be able to practicalize it. I try to keep fit as much as possible. I had a problem with my meniscal, which I did a lot of good rehabilitation. I didn't need to operate, but I focused on the rehabilitation, and immediately I was fine. So what I'm saying all this to say that if you take care of your body very well, you will get a good result. And every day I don't miss it. If I miss it, I cover it up. Every day. Sometimes I'm not, we are not all perfect to be precise at every time. Sometimes I miss it, but guess what? I do push-up, I do some real training, home gym, at home, wherever I find myself. Before I go out, I'll just do a push-up, I just do a little bit, work on my heart, work on my lungs, and work on my muscles. So what happened? That alone build my shape. That alone, I do a lot of swimming. When I'm free, if I find myself in the hotel and I cannot train, I just go to swimming. I go swimming, I swim, and I spread my legs, I spread my hands, I do exercise, and that helps us because you see, people always say, in Nigeria we are religious freak people. This is very important. We will say, God gives love. There are lots of people that have died, lots of people that slummed, they died on not knowing. Some people slept and never woke up, and some people say God called them. God didn't call anybody, they called themselves. That's just the truth. God didn't call anybody, they called themselves. Because, the truth is just that we need to take care of we are responsible for our body. And if we are not responsible for our body, the body results. It's like a car. When the car breaks down, what happens? When the car it can't move again. So we are responsible for our body. And when you are not responsible for your body sometimes grows out of limits. So while the secret is that I try as much as possible as a human to make sure that I take care of my body. I look at what I eat, how I eat them, and what time I eat them as well too.
So this is a fantastic advice for the young footballers coming up. Eating fufu 12 midnight is not going to help your career. And so it's always good to watch your diet and then keep exercising. You can never be perfect, Yeah, there's nothing like too much training. So before we go, finally, any last words for the people out there that you want to leave? Yes,
actually, I want to say thank you so much, and I'm very, very, very excited to be on air today, and I also want to thank everyone that has played part for this very tournament to take place. And I'm telling you, I'm very impressed, Wale. I'm super impressed, and I'm happy, and I know this is just the best is yet to come. We have just started something very good, and the best is yet to come. And I wish you all very well, and trust me, there are good things coming out of this, Wale, and his team. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
So thank you very much, Mr. Ikpe Ekong. We are very much glad to have you around, and we are so inspired by your words and words of admonition. So I can vouch that the young talents that you are having around here are so proud of you. I know seeing you here is a kind of morale. It's a kind of morale booster to in their career. So I also want to thank Mr. Wale, who have called your presence here. We are really grateful to you, Mr. Wale Kuku. And moreover, overall, I want to appreciate the organizer of this tournament, the Apfan League, under the chairmanship of Mr. Bamidele Oyo. Thank you, we thank you, and we promise you by the next season you are going to see better performance.
Well, before I say that, he has agreed and said he's going to partner with Apfan. Bringing him on board to partner with Apfan means that we're going to get to that international level even before next season.
Definitely. We count on your words, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.